All right, so good day. We're going to do May, June 2021, number 4, right? The solutions for it. So in this question, it says the diagram below shows L1 and L2. The equation of L1 is, let's write this down. L1 is x plus 2y is equal to 10. The line L2 passes through the point 0 minus 5 as it's perpendicular to L1, right? The first question says, express the equation of L1 in the form y is equals to mx plus c. So basically what they're telling you is, hey, I want you to make y the subject, right? So when they said x plus 2y is equals to 10, we want to make y the subject of the formula. We're going to carry across x. If we carry across plus x, it's going to turn to minus x. So we have 2y is equals to 10 minus x. Then we're going to carry across 2, which would be y is equals to 10 minus x, all divided by 2. And this can be split into two parts. So y is equals to 10 over 2 minus x over 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And then we have x over 2 is also the same thing as saying a half by x, right? So it is clear to see that y is equals to 5 minus, because it's still minus, a half x. So if we want it in this form, we can say y is equals to minus a half x plus 5. So this would be the form in which, for L1, y is equals to mx plus c. Now, they said state the gradient of L1. Now, we know that the equation for L1 is y is equals to a half minus a half x plus 5. And we know that it is in the form of y is equals to mx plus c. We know that m is your gradient. So we have to look at our equation and look for what is the coefficient of x. Coefficient of x is what is the number and the sign in front of x. So my gradient from using this equation is equals to minus a half. Do we understand? Okay, so now they told you, well, hence determine the equation of line 2. Now what you have to remember is the properties that they told you of line 2. That line 2 passes through 0 and minus 5 and is perpendicular to L1. As I was saying, right, the properties of L2 was it passes through 0 and minus 5 and it is perpendicular to L1. Now, that there, what it says perpendicular to L1, there's a property for perpendicular lines. Now, the property for perpendicular is this little sign here means perpendicular. Perpendicular lines is their gradients when you multiply their gradients. So for perpendicular lines, right, m1, which is the gradient of line 1, multiplied by the gradient of line 2 is always equal to negative 1. So when they say they are perpendicular to each other, that means when you multiply the two lines that are intersecting at a 90 degrees angle, that is what a perpendicular line is. When you multiply their gradients, you're supposed to get negative 1. We already know that the gradient of L1 was from above. They said it is minus a half. So minus a half multiplied by m2 is equals to negative 1, right? Now we're going to make m2 the subject. So m2, if we carry across multiply by, it's going to turn to divide by. So it's negative 1 divided by negative a half. So this is equal to negative 1 multiplied by 2 over 1, negative 2 over 1, the minus and a minus is a plus, so that will turn to a plus. So 1 by 2 is 2. So my gradient for L2 is 2, right? And then, remember what they told you. They told you a coordinate for L2. They said that it passed through 0 minus 5. So we know that a coordinate for L2 is 0 minus 5. So we can find the equation of the line. There are two ways to find the equation. I will show the two ways. So method 1 is where you use this y is equals to mx plus c. We know y, so this is x and this is y. Y is minus 5 is equals to m, which is 2 by 0, plus c, which is, well, we don't know what c is, right? So it's going to be minus 5, 2 by 0 is 0, plus c. So c is equals to minus 5. So we can clearly say that the equation for this line is, does it have more space? It does, right? The equation for the line would be y is equals to, my gradient is 2x minus 5, because c is minus 5, right? And this would be your first method to find equation of a line. Now, method 2 is an equation that you have to know, right? The equation is y minus y1 is equals to m by x minus x1, all close brackets, right? So what we're going to do, same thing, we have to know what my gradient is. My gradient is, let's say my gradient is equals to 2, and the coordinates that it is going through is 0 and minus 5. So 0 is my x value, and y is my minus 5 value. So we're going to put this in here. So we're going to be y minus minus 5 is equal to m, which is 2 by x minus 0, right? So now it's going to be y, a minus and a minus is a plus. So plus 5 is equal to 2 by x is 2x, and well, 2 by 0 is 0, right? We're going to make y the subject of the formula. So to make y the subject, we're going to carry across plus 5. So y, if we carry across plus 5, it's going to be minus 5. So y is equals to 2x minus 5, and that would be the second method to get the equation of the line. Both of them, we got the same answer. Y is equals to 2x minus 5, and that is your answer for this question. Now, this is part B in number 4. Remember, I told you number 4 is graphs as well as relation and functions questions, which is these, right? So they told you that f of x is a third x plus 4. And then they told you g of x is 3x all over x plus 1. So when they told you that to find f of 9, right, that means that f of x is equals to third x plus 4. This is telling you that x is equals to 9. So if they ask you for f of 9, wherever we see x in our f of x equation, we're going to put 9. So it's a third by 9 plus 4, right? A third by 9, a third multiplied by 9 is 3, right? So a third by 9 is 3. I'm just showing the work in there. So it's 3 plus 4. So a third, so 3 plus 4 is 7. So f of 9 would be equal to 7, right? And then we're going to do the second part. So now they're asking you to calculate this here. Remember, if we have two or more equations to get two or more functions together, it is a composite function. So when they said f of g of minus 3, the first thing that you should do is, hey, I need to put my bracket between my two functions there, f and g. So they're telling you, well, we always, guys, we have to find the brackets first. So let's find g of minus 3 first. That is, x is equals to minus 3 in my g of x. And x is equals to minus 3 in my function g of x, right? So that's 3 by minus 3 all over minus 3 plus 1. Remember, g of x is this here, 3x over x plus 1. So wherever we see x, we're going to put minus 3. So 3 by minus 3 is minus 9, and minus 3 plus 1 would be minus 2. negatives will cancel out. This will be 9 over 2, which is the same thing as saying, we'll leave it as 9 over 2. We'll leave it as this. Don't try to do anything. So now we know g of minus 3 is 9 over 2. So it's going to be f of 9 over 2 here. All right, so what that means is wherever we see x in our f of x equation, we're going to put 9 over 2. So f of x, let's put that back again, is a third x plus 4. So therefore, f of 9 over 2 would be a third by 9 over 2 plus 4. Let's do this work in here. A third multiplied by 9 over 2, 3 into 3, 1, 3 into 9, 3. So that would be 3 over 2 plus 4, right? 3 over 2 is equals to 1.5 plus 4, which is equals to 5.5. And that would be your answer. Go on to the last question in this here. Right? They told you determine the value of x so when g of x is 5 over 2. Right? So they're telling you that g of x is equals to 5 over 2. What is the equation for g of x? The equation for g of x is, so let me just put it, g of x is equals to 3x over x plus 1. Not so? So they're telling you 3x over x plus 1 is equals to 5 over 2. That is basically what they're telling you. And they're telling you, well, okay, I want to know what are the values for x. So basically, make x the subject of the formula. So when you have two fractions on both sides, you do something called cross multiplication. So you multiply 2 by the top value. So you see across there, and then you multiply the denominator by the next part. We don't want no denominator, you always multiply the denominator by the next side on top. So it's going to be 3x multiplied by 2 is equals to 5 by x plus 1. So 3 2's are 6x is equals to 5x plus 1. So we're going to make x the subject. We want to carry across 5x. If we carry across 5x, it's going to be minus 5x. So 6x minus 5x is equals to 1. 6x minus 5x is x is equals to 1. So my value for x would be x is equal to 1. Do we understand this? Are we okay with this? Okay, so I made a mistake, right? What am I supposed to do is 5 by x. Let me just erase this, right? Erase this. Right, so what I'm supposed to do, because I made a mistake, is at 5 by x is 5x, and 5 by 1 is 5 before I put 1. So it's supposed to be 3 by x is 6x is equal to 5 by x is 5x, and then 5 by 1 is plus 5. Right, we make x a subject by carrying across plus 5x, so that's 6x minus 5x is equals to 5, right? 6 minus 5 is x is equal to 5. So my answer would be x is equal to 5. Right, and this is the end of May-June 2021, number 4.